A lady went into a very busy butcher shop. She saw dozens of dressed chicken hanging there. She went there, lifted a leg and smelled, lifted another leg and smelled, lifted a wing and smelled. Like this she went on from chicken to chicken. Then the butcher came and tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Ma'am, could you pass a test like that?" You won't. So don't go about smelling around, what's wrong with this guy, what's wrong with her, what's wrong with him, what's wrong with her, what's wrong with him. All of them stink a bit. Yes, every tree, every plant, in some way rooted in filth. But the question is only, does it throw out a fragrant blossom? That's all the question is. If the roots are bloody clean, it will not throw out anything wonderful. Are we in the process of transformation? Because this is the nature of life. Are we a continuous process of transformation? Because everything is. Everything else on the planet is in the process of transformation. Are you a process of transformation? That's a big question. If you are a big yes to this one question, nothing else matters. If you are a stagnant pool, getting entangled in this and that every day, and finding devious reasons as to why you're entangled, then you're a hopeless case. You are a waste of time on this planet. When I say waste of time, I'm saying a wasted life because your life is just time. Some other creature could have lived. A grasshopper would have hopped around with more joy than a devious human being. Yes or no? We could make 1,000,000 grasshoppers or butterflies out of you for the same body weight. Yes or no? If you're not capable of something better than every other creature, we have no business because we are a bloody expensive life. Yes or no? We are a very expensive life, expensive in every way. To eat, sleep, to walk, how many arrangements we need? Yes or no? From footwear to clothes to buildings to… how many arrangements? I don't see a kitchen anywhere in the forest, but they're all well fed. Now did you see the elephant walking with shoes? Very expensive life. For so much expense, this must do something better than every other creature can do. We as a species, as a human race, have done many terrible things, many wonderful things also. But for every wonderful thing we do, we have at least one terrible thing to show, if not more. Spiritual process means just this, that every day you keep subtracting your terrible things. A terrible thought, a terrible emotion, a terrible word, a terrible action, every day, one a day. You'll be doing great in a month or two. Am I underestimating you? That I believe you have only 30 terrible things The most terrible thing about human beings is that they're so busy with their own stuff, they don't feel the pain and suffering and what other life is going through. Not sensitive. Not being sensitive is the most terrible crime, because if we were sensitive, not ego-sensitive, life-sensitive, if we were life-sensitive, everything that we can do, we would anyway do. What we cannot do, what to do? We can't do, that's all. But what we can do would happen. A Sudanese man, you know Sudan? There are two, you know. Hello? There are two Sudans. The Sudanese people, it is said, I'm not an expert on this, it is said most of the Sudanese people are of Indian origin. They still eat dosa.
Surya Kriya is a powerful process of
They have very similar culture, they look very much
within.
like Indians.
When I say
Mixed up
activating the
with
sun within,
North African
sun
population,
is in
but
every aspect
they've gone there.
of whatever you see on this
A
planet.
few millennia ago.
Fundamentally, it is a solar energy
The Sudanese
which is
man
driving life on this planet. So when
went
we do
to
Surya Kriya, we
Morocco,
want to generate that energy
to
within
camel
the system.
market in Marrakesh.
There is a cousin to Surya
A very
Kriya,
famous
which is a
camel
Surya
market.
Namaskar. Surya Namaskar
There's one in
is a
Rajasthan
kind
in
of
Pushkar.
practice that evolved out of Surya Kriya.
So,
Surya
he went to sell
Namaskar
his
is
camel.
largely a way
Then
of
he
saluting
found
the sun,
all the
but
camels
Surya
that were in
Kriya
the
has
market
more
were much bigger
spiritual
than his
intentions.
camel.
Surya Kriya has more powerful
So he
connotations
looked around,
attached
every
to it.
camel was bigger than his.
The different
Then he
dimensions of Surya Kriya.
The
Physically,
Berber man,
it's a powerful
Berber is a tribe. The word barbarian
The way it trains
comes
your
from
mind.
this tribe.
There are few parallels.
The Berber man who was
There are mystical
sitting with his
dimensions to
large
it.
camels, he asked, "How come your camels
There
are
are.
so big and mine
It is a way of adjusting your body.
barely
in a
half the
celestial
size?"
activity. So
He said,
this
"It's
is a
very
way
simple.
of adjusting your
I
system,
see your camel.
not just your physical
It's not
system, your
castrated.
energy system, your psychological
If you castrate
process,
your camel, it'll grow big."
celestial
He asked,
geometry,
"How do I do this?" He said, "It's very
so that
simple.
you are in sync
Take
with
two
the
bricks and smash the testicles of the camel,
happen
and after that
once
it'll
in
grow very
12 and a
big.
quarter to 12.5 years.
Won't it hurt?" he
The
asked.
moon cycle
He said, "Not at all, I'll show
happens in
you."
8 days.
And he brought one
If your
camel,
physiological
took two bricks and
cycles
smashed it.
In
The
sync
camel
with the
screamed
sun
in
cycles,
pain and ran.
your physical health
This
will be
Sudanese
great,
guy asked,
your mental balance
"But
will
you
be
said it won't
perfect,
hurt."
and your life…
"Well, it
will
only
happen.
hurts if you get your finger between the bricks."
So the idea of yoga is that your body becomes a possibility, not a barrier. If that has to happen, everything within your system should function
You're
with
very
the least
sensitive
amount
to
of resistance,
what happens to
with
you,
least amount of friction. The idea
barely
of Hatha
sensitive to
Yoga
what
is
happens to
knead
everything
the system,
else.
not just the physical body.
In this
To knead
condition,
the whole system in such a way that all these frictions
the
are
most wonderful
machined
nature
out or
of the human
smoothened out
being
in such a way
will not find
that after
expression.
some time if you sit here, there's
have to
absolutely
become
no sense
sensitive.
of friction within you.
You
have
must
only
understand
the outside to deal with,
the
nothing
tree,
else.
the flower,
There is nothing…
the birds,
that this is not an issue
and all
anymore.
creatures
This
are very
being-
sensitive
This mechanism is no more
to
an issue.
everything that's happening
Only
around
if it
them.
becomes like that, you can deal with the outside
They won't
with the
go and
phenomenal
hurt
ease and
anything
capability.
unless they need to eat.
Now, coming to Surya Kriya is a phenomenal
Yes.
process in that direction.
Unless it's their
To
food.
bring smoothness.
They
to
never
the
went
system.
about simply
This
killing.
smoothness to the system or this well-oiled feeling
very
within
sensitive
yourself will not come
to life.
unless you are in sync
Not
with
in
the
the way
larger system,
you
which is
understand,
the
not
solar
as an
system.
emotion,
The larger
but simply
body of who
sensitive
you
to
are
life.
is the solar system. That is why this is called as
Never
Hatha
did
Yoga.
this tree branch come down and knock any of you down during a darshan.
For Surya Kriya in particular, I noticed right away,
Be
within
careful.
a few weeks of practicing, an incredible strength
Either
and flexibility in the spine.
it's for
which
food
even after practicing
or in
yoga,
self-defense.
various kinds of
Otherwise,
yoga for
no animal is
15
simply
years,
going
I have never
on.
felt my spine be so flexible and strong.
So human beings,
knowing that there's a Kriya,
I have to show little evolution.
sequence that accompanies the physical postures, and kind of learn
We have to
why
show
that's
little
included
evolution,
and how that
little
itself
more
can,
evolution than the
yoga
other
practice.
creatures which are on the force.
That's what I think really distinguishes.
At least like our nearest of
My
the…
body feels good. You know,
know?
I'm 51 years old.
Our nearest
I had
relatives.
not done yoga till I
At least
started
that
2 years
much.
ago, so I was 49, and there's such a difference. Surprisingly enough, I feel
Yes,
very
I know.
motivated while I'm in it.
I came to Surya
In the
Kriya
world, there
initially
is
with
competition
a lot of back pain and a lot of
for
body
resource.
pain in general. The most important thing
There is competition
that it's been
with
like
everything.
permanent healing.
And some friction will happen here and there.
that enrich one's life,
I am not innocent of those
develops
things.
mental clarity and focus,
But I want you to at least
remedies
eliminate
weak constitutions,
the friction that happens
vigor
within
and
you,
vitality,
though you have nothing to gain.
balances hormonal levels in the body,
Is it happening or no?
prepares one
Simply.
for deeper states of meditation.
You smelling every chicken, but you yourself won't